Well, hello, everybody. We are so lucky. We have Dr. Francis here. Let me tell you who this goddess is. Dr. Francis has been practicing holistic medicine for over 33 years. She's a naturopathic doctor, she's a chiropractor, she's an acupuncturist, and a massage therapist. What? Busy?
Oh, stop.
In practice, Dr. Francis adheres to the philosophy and principles of naturopathic medicine, which includes the healing power of nature, identify and treat the causes, first do no harm, doctor as teacher, treat the whole person, and prevention. She received her formal medical training at the National College of Chiropractic at Bastyr University. She has also intensive training in alternative cancer therapies, environmental medicine, functional medicine, mind-body medicine, and bioidentical hormone therapy. What? So following her formal medical education, Dr. Francis traveled extensively to various parts of the world studying medicine with indigenous healers in countries such as China, India, Thailand, Bali, Brazil, Morocco, Peru, Guatemala, Ecuador, Belize, Mexico, Turkey, Greece, Syria, Lebanon, Indonesia, Malaysia, Egypt, and Mali. She's not busy. Nope. No. So yes, basically her credentials are badassery. But in addition to that, because some people have that much energy, she currently has a practice in New York City, and it's called the Herban Alchemist. Isn't that cute? Herban as in Herban. Very nice. Herban Alchemist, and operates Backstage Alternative, which provides natural medicine to rock and roll performers that are on tour. She's the author of the book, The Rockstar Remedy, a rock and roll doctor's prescription for living a long, healthy life, published by HarperCollins in 2014. Gabrielle and her husband Ahmed own Moroccan Elixir, a beauty product line which features argan oil from women cooperatives in Morocco. It is really nice, FYI. So I would like to say that I met.
Thank you, Freda.
Yeah.
To be here, by the way.
I'm so excited. Yes. These are my people that I love, and we're all doing this.
They're very lucky people to be working with you, if I might say.
That's very nice.
You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I want to share a little bit about why I am drinking the natural Gabrielle Kool-Aid. Her name's Gabrielle, Dr. Gabrielle Francis. And in my 30s, which was just a couple of minutes ago, just kidding, I'm in my 50s, I met Gabrielle at some, maybe Dolores Park at some picnic thing. I don't know where we were. I forgot. And she was like, oh, you know, I moved here to San Francisco. We were both living in San Francisco. And she told me about her business. And I was curious, but I was like, you know, bracing through life and pushing through life. And you know how all of us do when we experience a history of trauma, we're just like, we get used to the decline of living. Like, no, it's fine that my knuckles are dragging on the floor and they're bleeding. This is normal. And then she invited me in and she gave me this rock star treatment. She had this full appointment with me where she was present. It was the first time I went to a naturopath. She gave me acupuncture and adjustment, and she recommended these supplements for me. And being that I was stubborn, I waited and waited, and I was like, well, I'll do it later because I don't know why. And then like months later, I finally listened to her and took the supplements she recommended, and I was like, oh.
I never knew that part of the story, Freda.
I never told you that?
No, that you put it off like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because, you know, because I was going to take my MFT exam and I was like, I want my brain working first and I don't know what it's going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't blame you.
I don't, yeah, that was a mistake. I needed it before.
You gotta be ready for stuff, you know?
Yes. And so that's when I started to make this a regular part of my practice. And if any of you have been My private client, before when I meet you, I have you fill out all the stuff about your health first, and I send you a naturopath doctor or give you some tips if it's mild. And so today, our treat is that Dr. Francis is going to take over now, and she's going to give us some information on what's going to help you, because we're in the section right now that's about getting permission from our body to heal. And as you all know, because during the sessions, I have you drink a lot of water. I mentioned to you that when your cortisol lowers, you start to yawn. You see when I'm coughing or yawning when you guys are releasing. And so she's going to give you some tips on how to continue the process with detox by giving you insight about this. Take it over, baby.
Thanks, Freda. Thank you for sharing your story again. It jogged my memory. I forgot about a lot of that stuff.
Yes, it was like a couple
I
of
feel
years ago.
like I'm a physical version of what you do, that really holistic approach. And, when you asked me to do this, I really wanted to know where the students were in the process with you and what aspect of healing you guys were in emotionally and spiritually, because I believe that the body is a metaphor for things happening emotionally and spiritually, and that the work you're doing physically, emotionally, and spiritually should be congruent. So I knew that you were in a place in the program where you were kind of clearing out things and imprints that are no longer used so that you can bring in and integrate new things. And this is very similar to what I believe is the alchemy that happens in healing. And we always want to bring new things into our life and into our routine, but we have a much better effect with that if we start by clearing out the old and getting rid of what we don't need anymore. And I always believe in clearing out the old, detoxing, setting a new foundation, and then from there, you do the building, the adding in, and then at the end, the refining. And that's an alchemy type process that you do with people. And so I thought, since the stage you're at with the students is in a cleansing time, that the best thing I could talk about for you guys would be the importance of detoxing and how a detox supports that. The other thing is that the liver and the gut are kind of the foundation in our body. And I look at it also like it's kind of like a building that's come down and we need to rebuild it. And before we rebuild, we have to clear out the rubble, build a new foundation, and then we do the building. In our body, the foundation is the liver and the gut. Can I absorb what's good for me? Can I eliminate what's bad for me? Once the liver and gut are clean and absorbing and working well, then when you do the nutrients and diets and exercises to make yourself stronger and to build, it all works so much better. So it really fits with the process that you're at in your program now, for people to be thinking about the cleansing time emotionally and spiritually is also the time where I'm cleansing the body as well.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, because often people feel lethargic even though they want to release the pain of the past. And so we want to give their body a fighting chance to be able to have the stamina to do that. So maybe you can tell them a little bit about why the detox is important, like the symptoms of liver being sluggish or the gut being off.
Well, there's a lot of symptoms of needing a detox. One of them is feeling stuck and unclear. Mentally, you'll feel depressed, unfocused, kind of weighed down, and like in a place of indecision. Physically, you'll see a lot of headaches, allergies, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, joint aches, muscle aches, sleep disturbances. So, in general, when it seems overwhelming and that everything is kind of working and not the best place, it's always a great place to start with a reboot and the cleanse. And we're exposed to toxins all the time, and our body has organs that help the toxins come in and get eliminated. So when we're exposed to things in the environment, whether it's from our food that we eat, things that we drink, things that we breathe, um, our body can usually assimilate what's good and detox what's bad. And There's toxins in the environment, those are called exotoxins. And then
Mhm.
there's endotoxins, which are things that are produced inside of our body. And our body has the mechanisms to take those in, metabolize, and eliminate them. Exotoxins are things like toxins in the food, chemicals, food additives, GMOs, sugar, wheat, dairy, things that are kind of allergenic,
Mhm.
caffeine, nicotine, alcohol. There are also toxins in the environment that we get exposed to through our beauty products, through our cleaning products, through the air. So those are the exotoxins. Endotoxins are things that our body produces all the time. Our body has metabolic processes that keep our organs going, and we're always breaking things down, and then we're needing to detox them, whether it's hormones or bacterial end products. Those are called endotoxins. And I actually think that endotoxins could also be our emotions.
Mhm.
Sometimes our emotions are creating an impact on our health and holding us back from being able to be clear. So I consider emotional toxins endotoxins as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it really, I can feel it when working with clients when there's still adrenaline um, stored in them.
Yeah, and I also feel that like when people are in therapy and they're doing emotional releasing work and they're feeling physically, emotionally stuck, if you're physically cleansing and you're also kind of clearing out the space and the environment you live in, it just kind of makes it easier to do the emotional and physical and spiritual work.
Yes, yes. It's an easier ride without taking all the lethargic toxins with you.
Hmm.
So, I know that you've mentioned to me before that you can start with, if you want to tell us how the benefits of detox or how it works, or, I'm also curious because this is the section where we're actually getting permission from our bodies and tissue and organs to heal. That if you can tell us a little bit about like if there's a connection with certain emotions with organs.
Yeah, right. Well, first of all, our body detoxes by, there's 7 organs of elimination. There's the liver, the kidneys, the large intestine, the skin, the blood, and the lymphatics. And so the liver, our body detoxes by having proper nutrients. The liver needs nutrients to be able to detox, and toxins in the liver go through enzyme pathways. The enzymes break them down and move it out. The large intestine mostly detoxes with good fiber and with the contraction of the colon and eliminating through our stool. The kidneys detox by purifying our kidneys and our cells with clean, pure water and herbal teas. So we urinate out all the excess toxins through the urine, through our kidneys. Um, the skin, the way we detox best through the skin is through sweating, both through exercise and saunas, and our bloodstream through exercise. Exercise filters our blood and adds oxygen to it. And then there's one that's very important, and that's our lymphatics, and that includes something called the GALT, gut associated lymphatic tissue. And that, if you've ever heard of the term leaky gut, I know you've heard of that, right?
From
Before?
my 30s and my first appointment.
Yeah, so the way I look at the lymphatic section, the GALT, gut associated lymphatic tissue, is that is like your border wall. And that's the mucosal barrier that's in your nose, sinuses, lungs, mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, colon, and it's also the vagina, the urethra, and the bladder. And that lining lets us absorb nutrients and things that are good for us, but it also protects us from toxins that are going to go in. And so when that barrier breaks down, that lining becomes hyperpermeable. We're no longer able to process the good things and the nutrients, and we're also taking in toxins and allergens that normally shouldn't get there and they come into our bloodstream. And this creates a lot of problems with allergies and immune reactions. So, each of these organs has a very special function. And there is actually emotional connections to each organ as well. In particular, and you've probably heard of this a lot before, and most of you have probably heard about it if you see an acupuncturist, but the liver and the gallbladder are associated with anger and resentment that's either not being expressed, or it can also be um, feeling stuck in a situation you can't get out of and having a hard time moving forward with something, or feeling like you haven't made a decision about something, or that once you've made a decision, you can't move forward with it. Those are the associations of the liver and the gallbladder. The
Very cool.
kidneys are associated with fear. So whenever we're holding on to a lot of fear and adrenaline and trauma, that affects the kidney and the adrenal glands. The lung and the large intestine are associated with the emotions of grief and sadness, and having a hard time working through old patterns of grief and sorrow from losses. And then, yeah, and then the gut lining. The gut I think of as the, in Chinese medicine, that's the stomach and small intestine channel. And those are associated with worry, mind racing, overthinking, obsessive, and also having a hard time assimilating and determining what kind of information I want to take out and what I want to take in and what I want to leave out. So really, if you can see that there is a metaphor of emotional and spiritual healing related to all of these physical aspects of detox as well.
It's amazing. I'm so glad everybody gets to hear this because it's such an insight when people are going into their own meditation, and if they feel pain, or they can look into the emotion of like, oh, my liver is upset or my digestion's off. What's happening for me? What's difficult to digest? What am I angry with? So yes, I'm excited they get to hear this.
Yeah, and there's so many benefits to detoxing. Like, first of all, it really resets everything. You put all your focus into really cleaning things up. It helps you to reset and kind of get back on track when you may have been straggling for a while. So it kind of really gets you centered on your health again and really clearing out what you don't need anymore. But also, like this, emotionally, you feel lighter, clearer, freer. It's easier to do the other work. Usually helps the headaches.
And the
It
egg,
also helps break patterns of addiction. It can really help to break patterns of addiction where we're overeating or doing too much sugar, alcohol, carbohydrates, wheat, things that we get obsessive about. It also helps, your digestion work better, so it can eliminate symptoms of gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, and always there's usually some weight loss when people detox, and usually that can happen kind of fast. And most of the initial weight loss that happens when somebody's doing a cleanse is because they're losing a lot of excess water retention.
Mhm.
When you're toxic, your body holds on to water as a way of diluting the toxin. So it's a protective mechanism from your body. Say you drink the night before, the next day you're bloated and swollen. Actually, that's a protective mechanism by your body to dilute the toxin of the alcohol. So when you eliminate toxins in your diet, you support your body's ability to move toxins out by supporting the organs of elimination, then your body doesn't need to hold on to all that water anymore. And usually people will pee out and they'll look, even if they haven't lost weight, they often look like it because they're not so puffy and bloated anymore.
That's amazing. I didn't know that about the puffy and the bloatedness, that it's trying to help me out from all my
Yeah,
own toxins.
isn't that nice? So when people are
That's like
really swollen,
a
I'm like,
response
your
for
body's trying to protect you, but now you've got to give back to your body and take a little better care of it?
yes, like go back to the spa and go sit in the infrared. Yes.
Mhm.
Good. Okay, so do you want to tell us a little bit about the stages of detox? Because I know that I've had clients in the past through all the years that there's so many different, like you have to eliminate this, or you have to eliminate that, or you have to eat keto, you have to eat a paleo, or you have to eat the no seeds things with Dr. Guntry or whatever. And everybody gets confused and everybody wants to do it right. But I really don't want, or the water diet or a lemon diet. Like I really want to do it in a way
I
where they can
heard
still
about
function.
diet, and I'm like, oh my God, please. And there's a lot of fad diets on them. There's just tons of fad diets. It's kind of hard to keep up with them myself, and I always have to learn about them because I want to know what people are doing. And the other day I was at Trader Joe's, and I saw that poor little Kale was admonished to this little section. And Kale used to be the rock star, and now there's mounds and mounds of celery everywhere. And that's because one of the latest trends is this celery juice detox. And to be honest, I'm a naturopath, but my foundation is in functional medicine. And so I really kind of go with a functional medicine cleanse to begin with. And I usually recommend that people start there. And what that means is that these are using functional food powders that are completely food based and organic, but they support the organs of elimination. So my smoothie has like a protein powder that builds the liver, gut support, probiotics, omega oil, green foods, fiber, and all of those have a effect on a different organ of elimination. So for example, the protein powder provides the liver all the nutrients it needs to be able to detox. The liver dumps the toxins into the gut. The GI Revive and the probiotic support the gut foundation so that when the liver's dumping toxins, it's not getting reabsorbed, it's being protected from that. And then the fiber is like the street cleaner, where the GI Revive is kind of laying down new pavement. The fiber is taking all the sludge and pushing it to the exit. It's working through the colon. And then you've got the omega oil. Oh, and the green food. So greens, which is what most detoxes revolve around, are very deep cleansers. They're made with chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is what we call nature's chelator. What makes chlorophyll green is magnesium. And chlorophyll is what makes all the plants green, by the way. And chlorophyll goes inside of our cells. It binds to toxins and heavy metals, pulls them out of the cells and moves it into the blood. And from the blood, it gets filtered through the liver, through the gut, and then out through the intestines. Okay? So if people are just doing, say a person's never detoxed before, and they're like, I'm going to do a green juice cleanse. Well, the problem with that is they probably don't have an optimally functioning liver and gut. So what they're doing is they're pushing all these toxins from the cells into the blood, but the liver and the gut can't move it out. And that's when people will start to get sick. They'll often develop a rash or something in the skin because if the liver and the gut can't detox, it starts to come out the skin. Okay. And so those green juice cleanses are excellent if we know that the foundation's intact. Otherwise, what it's like is it's like you're cleaning out the apartments and you're putting all the garbage in the hallway, but there's no elevators to take it out the building to the street corner. Okay. And so you're just pulling it out, but you're not really moving it fully out. So when people want to do those kind of deeper juice cleanses, I'll say, why don't you start with a functional medicine protocol, get the liver and gut working, then you can go into those kind of more deeper cellular cleanses, and you won't have any negative side effects from them.
Yeah, I like that baby steps so that people don't feel sick and then put it off and not live life. If they just do baby steps, they can still function in the world.
Yes, because if somebody's organs of elimination are working properly, they don't get sick from a detox. That's one of the, that's a false belief, actually. And then there's a lot of programs on the market that are more diet based. So personally, I feel that the food component of a cleanse should include some kind of supportive shake or juices, as well as a clean eating diet. And that usually involves getting rid of all the toxins in the diet and also the food allergens. So things like dairy, wheat, sugar, those are the top of the list. But
But
anything
not
that,
coffee. Don't make me give up my coffee.
well, that's a confession I have to make. I've never once done a detox without drinking coffee too. So I try to make it
Our public
reasonable.
service. If we did a detox without the coffee, we just wouldn't be kinder in the world. Just don't listen to us.
Well, my philosophy, because I've had most of my career in working with rock stars while they were on tour. And it was basically like going, okay, you want to eat better and do the shake, but you don't want to give up coffee. Can I still do the detox? I'm like, yeah, because you're going to do so much better just from changing those two things. What's a little coffee going to hurt? Then they feel really great. The next time they maybe want to do it without the coffee. And so we can take little steps like that. I'm not judgmental. That's kind of my approach. I learned it from many years of touring with rock groups. And I was like, hey, the regular people are living the same way. They want to have fun, they want to party, they want to travel, they want to work hard, and they want to be healthy. Can we do it both? I think so.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I like about the way you wrote the book is you're normalizing that it doesn't have to be extreme. It doesn't have to be a life of deprivation. You set it up in a way like, look, just put more good stuff in, like what did you call it, 80/20 or whatever.
90/10, but you might be on the 80/20. Last month I was on the 70/30,
Yeah,
but this
I
month
mean,
I'm
as
on
long
the
as you're doing the
99/1.
good. Like I know that if I'm going to have certain things that I don't do so well in, I do take some chlorophyll pills, or I do have more of a parsley smoothie or something, and then kind of
Yeah.
resets it.
Yeah, so I think of the detox as a whole body cleanse. So the smoothie and the nutrients that supplements that people take and the diet are one part of it. The second phase of detoxing is how we look at our body, and that would be like body work treatments as well as exercise. When people are detoxing, I feel that the exercise should be gentle and cleansing. It should be a lot of walking and gentle aerobics. We should think about yoga, and there's a lot of different yoga moves that are really supportive for helping our organs to detox. Plus, just the breathing aspect of that is important. Then
Mhm.
there's other things like swimming that are great during a cleanse. The cleanse is not the time for heavy duty rebuilding and weightlifting. And then there's body work treatments that support people during a detox, things like saunas and steams and massages, but all of these things that are focused more on kind of cleansing and releasing. And then the third part of my approach is that we want to detox the mind and the spirit as well. So this is where I'll tell people, hey, you're in therapy. This is the time to talk to your therapist about the things you're ready to let go of. This is the time to kind of reprogram the tapes. Think about forgiveness and what you want to let go of. This is a time to forgive yourself, or even to just look at some of our habits, behaviors, addictions, or messages we're giving ourselves and what we want to clear out and let go of. And then this is also the section where we bring in breathing exercises, meditation, and other, um, mind and spirit approaches. And then the last part of it is kind of detoxing our lifestyle in general, which would be things like cleaning out the house, getting the feng shui in order, getting rid of things that you don't wear anymore and recycling them or giving them to the poor, cleaning out the area of your cleaning products and starting to switch over to more organic things. Your personal care, do an inventory of your personal care and get rid of the things in your personal care that are actually creating toxins for you. And it's also an idea is to kind of detox our technology a little bit, kind of unplug ourselves for a few minutes every day just to kind of create space in our mind.
Mm.
So I see the detox as a four-part approach where there's a healthy diet and supportive supplements. There's the detoxing of the body with it, which is the treatments and the exercise. And
Mhm.
then there's also the mind and spirit approach that you're taking care of so beautifully, and the general lifestyle approaches that we detox. So I really enjoy people to dive into this month-long process of clearing and make it something that's congruent body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah, and this is amazing. This is why I think it's so important when I wanted to bring this into the class, because I'm doing this just like how when I see a private person, in that if this part isn't handled, everything like I said at the top of the hour, it was is just more difficult. And the way that Dr. G lays it all out, she makes it so it's so doable and easy. And I remember taking her smoothie back in the day, and how all of a sudden, I remember telling her this, that I could eat more toxic things now because I felt so much better, like I could handle more things. And I remember saying, I don't know if that's the goal, but,
How do you like
but I
my new motto? If you have your shake, you can eat cake too.
Yes, and it really did. It did make a big difference, especially just to share. During the time, I remember my liver. I was living in a very, very moldy apartment in San Francisco, but it was rent controlled. Come on, people from San Francisco, you know if you're living in a one bedroom for 750, you're not moving, even though the walls are moldy. It really helped get my liver back in shape, and my whole world changed. My brain fog went away.
Mhm.
Everything was, my skin cleared up, and it was all starting from her liver
It
cleansing.
really just kind of sets the foundation for the next phase of work you're going to do, whether it's with you, what you're bringing their new thoughts and goals and processes in that they want to bring new things in to integrate, or you want to start some new supplements or a new diet, or whether you want to start a new job. It's symbolic of, creating that platform so that the building works so much better. And it does. It does. It's great to have everything congruent.
And it makes you just so much joyous, like that again, that dullness, when it happens gradually in your life, you think, oh, it's okay, it's not a big deal. But as you guys know, when we're teaching you, we're only in module 2 right now. We're teaching you how to release more and more trauma. All that stored cellular memory, all the detox to go through all the way through this would be fantastic, regardless of how it looks to you. But to be able to follow her protocol as far as like doing it gentle and doing gentle
Yeah.
exercise,
And even
taking
if
care of the
it's just
spirit.
the diet part of it, just changing the
Yes,
diet and doing the lifestyle part, you don't even have to do the supplements or smoothie, and you're still going to get so much benefit.
that's right. And that's what she talked about with the mind body. As you're going through that, when your body's feeling different or tired, to befriend your body. Don't be afraid if you're starting to feel symptoms that are not familiar. To have your body as your ally. And so little by little, you're going to be so attuned and aligned with your body, then you know when it's time. Like if you can tell us, how often do you think that we should do this kind of mild cleanse?
I recommend that people do it a minimal of once a year, and it usually lasts about a month. But like I said, I've got a system set up so people don't have to eject themselves from their life to be able to do a cleanse. They can do it and still be working and traveling and doing all that stuff. But if you have the time to set aside, that's even better. But I usually recommend it at least once a year. But people who live hard and, party and want to eat out a lot and drink, you might want to do it more than that, like twice. And I have some patients that do it every quarter. And sometimes you just kind of check in and it's time. It's like I had a summer full of lots of weddings. I'm not feeling so hot. This is the time. So it's really up to you. And then it becomes kind of a lifestyle almost where you're really living like that most of the time, healthy and clean. And then the yearly cleanse is only to take care of that 10% that you haven't been perfect that accumulates over the course of the year.
That's awesome. And you guys, she's been so gracious and generous that what she's offering us for this live class segment, I know some of you who are watching this later after the live class is over, you could still get the benefit, but she's offering a 20% discount if you want to check out her site and what's going on there. And that's all going to be in the portal waiting for you. And also, she's giving a nice space in case you're busy now because things are chaotic. And the discount's good from February 1st until May 1st, so you have plenty of time.
Spring cleaning, right?
Yeah, during the spring. And also, she's been gracious enough. You'll see in the portal there is a beautiful handouts explaining a lot of this. So if you were
The
feverishly taking
workbook
notes,
is really good.
say that again, hon.
Workbook would be really good to kind of support
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
just will help guide you. And the book is also really helpful too. So there's a way that you don't have to worry about jumping into this. We're in the middle of a class. Some of you, this is the first time you're doing energy healing, so this might be too much information. So that's why it's really great that you have these handouts that she gave you. And that way you can look at it when it feels right. Because when we're taking on too many new things, we can get overwhelmed. And so that just means, like, eating a
Check.
little bit better while we go through this, and
Yeah.
then checking things out and going through her for a process model.
Yeah. Sounds great. Well, I'm so honored to be here and to hang out with you, Frida, and to meet all of your little students, and I wish you all the best, and you are in the best hands. I've had so much wonderful healing sessions with Frida. I wish she was still living near me because I referred so many people to her, but you guys are in such great hands, and I know you're gonna just have an amazing healing with her. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for gifting us with all your wisdom and knowledge. And I'm going to give you guys all her website information so you can contact her if you have any questions. I don't know if you work internationally or out of state, but I'm sure that your receptionist will answer those questions if they ever contact you, or
Sure.
I don't know what you're supposed to do, or that, or anything
Yeah.
like that. Okay, thank you. And I will see you all in the next class. Okay, bye for now.
Bye.